Currently, he's considered to be, some say, the most powerful House Speaker in the nation because of veto-related issues related to Governor Cooper, which is the North Carolina governor currently. It was filed by former Apex Town Council member Scott Lassiter, alleges that House Speaker Tim Moore broke up his marriage by enticing his wife into an affair. So I'm not a lawyer. This is not legal advice. I've not been to law school, but basically North Carolina is one of 6 states, is my understanding, in the nation with these types of laws. This alienation of affection, criminal conversation type of law evidently was created over 200 years ago when women were considered to be property of their husbands and could be, essentially the thought was, stolen away by another man. And this law was designed to compensate the husband for loss of property, essentially. Over the years, in the early 1900s, as I understand it, and possibly the late 1800s, it was amended to include women to be able to sue other women for alienating the affection of their husbands, basically, and to be able to recover damages, potentially. So the law is a really, really ancient law. It is an antiquated law. There was a lawyer there's been a number of lawyers that have been interviewed from different family law firms across North Carolina about this. One of the lawyers had said that they didn't know exactly how many of these lawsuits are filed every single year because up until the court system existed, there was no way to really track it without going straight to the courthouse and manually collecting it up, which would take forever if you went county by county to each courthouse and tried to do that. But he estimated that it was between 300 to 500 of these types of cases are filed each year. So most of them don't make the news the way this does. Every now and again they do. The reason this one is so significant is because it involves a high-profile, powerful political figure, and the allegations that are made are really serious. Some are saying that they think that it warrants a criminal investigation in order to determine whether or not the allegations are true, and if so, appropriate legal action being taken. I would agree with those individuals. I've had some time to really think and contemplate about that, and I would agree with that sentiment 100,000%. The lawsuit says that the relationship went on for more than 3 years, and then it goes on to basically talk about the details. It says that, his wife, Jamie Lyles Lassiter, feared that breaking it off could cost her job as executive director of the North Carolina Conference of Clerks of Superior Court. Again, these are all allegations in a pending complaint, aka lawsuit, in Wake County, North Carolina right now. This has not gone into discovery or trial. Who knows if this lawsuit will go anywhere. More than 90% of lawsuits in America are just basically settled out of court. There's a lot of non-disclosure agreements. It's really shady in America, the American legal system. I don't trust it. And I sure as heck don't trust the North Carolina legal system at all. In an interview with Charlotte television station WBTV on Tuesday, Moore acknowledged that he had a sexual relationship with Lyles Lassiter, and then, quote, "But I thought it was appropriate because she was separated and I was divorced." Lyles Lassiter issued a statement saying there was no affection for her husband to be alienated from. She said she has long been separated from her husband and that the lawsuit was a vindictive act by an estranged spouse. But Lassiter's attorney, Alicia Journey, and I looked up this attorney actually on the website and read more about alienation, affection, and criminal conversation on this family law website, and learning way too much about this topic now, told the News and Observer that the Lassiters had not separated until January 11th, 2023, and quote, "No separation agreement has been signed," end quote. So one of the claims that is being made by the public statements being released in this case is that they were separated, that there was a separation. And the husband's attorney is claiming the opposite. Lassiter's attorney, Alicia Journey, told the News and Observer that the Lassiters had not separated until January 11th, 2023, and quote, no separation agreement has been signed. So that's what his attorney is saying. All right, so this one is from CBS17.com, the local news station, and the title is Capitol Report, Many Argue It's an Antiquated Law, NC House Speaker Urges State to Repeal Alienation of Affection Law. Okay, so the reason this is so consequential is because this person, the North Carolina House Speaker Tim Moore, is a Republican, and this party, for the entire time that I've been anywhere knowing about North Carolina and its politics and policies on any level, any way, shape, or form, has been very, very clear that they are all about family values and the sanctity of marriage. And that's what the alienation of affection and criminal conversation laws basically are all about. Again, not a lawyer, I've been in law school, but that is my understanding, okay? And politically, this is what they espouse. So it is a total 180 for the North Carolina House Speaker to be like, oh, now I want to repeal the alienation of affection law right away. And so I'm going to go ahead and direct quote exactly what he's now claiming, because I want to make sure I don't misquote him. You know, he's flat denying everything in the lawsuit, the complaint. He's making tons and tons of stuff about that, tons of statements that he denies it. And so does the wife involved in the situation. This is what he's quoted saying. Speaker Moore said he plans to file a countersuit against Scott Lassiter and also so the countersuit, if that gets filed, I will also be looking at that as well. So far, the last I checked, which was, I think the wee hours of this morning, was sometime today, in the wee hours of the morning, there had been nothing new had been filed with the Wake County E-Court. If something new is filed, I will be looking for it. I was having technological issues with the North Carolina E-Court website, so I don't know how fast I'd be able to access it. I guarantee you everyone, their mothers, could probably be on this. He also said he believes the state's alienation of affection law should be eliminated. North Carolina is one of only a few states where such a law exists. Evidently the number is 6. We're one of 6 states. And then he's quoted as, North Carolina House Speaker Tim Moore is quoted as saying, quote, as someone who is now the victim of this lawsuit, absolutely, I think we should repeal it. Okay, let me repeat that again. North Carolina House Speaker is quoted as saying by CBS17.com, local news, quote, as someone who is now the victim of this lawsuit, absolutely, I think we should repeal it. So this is a total and complete hysterical to me, amusing 180, in my opinion. Not unless I'm missing something, correct me if I'm wrong, but he's a part of a political party that stands on sanctity of marriage. Okay, that's what they say, sanctity of marriage and family values. And that is what the law in the modern day era is supposed to be based upon. Protecting family values, protecting marriage rights, basically, essentially. And now their own party leader, the speaker, he's like, never mind. We need to get rid of that immediately because I have a legal problem. And if we get rid of that law and get rid of what my legal problem is basically what it communicates to me. And look, I'm just going to tell you right now, like, I'm not buying what's being sold by North Carolina House Speaker Tim Moore or the women involved in the situation whatsoever. They've released public statements. They're denying everything. They have made their own claims. I don't believe them. I don't believe them. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. That's my takeaway. Again, these are allegations. They are not substantiated. They have not been to discovery. They've not been to jury trial. There has been no criminal investigation into any of this. There may never be. Due to how well connected this person, North Carolina House Speaker Tim Moore, is, I don't think that there ever will be, to be completely frank with you. I'm surprised that these allegations ever made the light of day in the first place. And the husband involved is also alleging that there was attempts to suppress his allegations from becoming public. And I will get into that. It is a deep dive, and I'm going to cover every single minute of it. I have really been planning for this, to really get this information out there because I really think it's important. One of the other leaders that's a Republican, Senate leader, Phil Berger, declined this week to weigh in on the specifics of Moore's case, but he did say he disagrees with the idea of repealing the law. Quote, I just think that there is some respect for marriage in the common law torts and that it's something that I don't see a need to eliminate, end quote. That's what Senate Leader Phil Berger he said. And so he's sticking by his own values that he espouses, regardless of the drama, which is exactly what it is, that is being faced by North Carolina House Speaker Tim Moore right now. I sincerely hope that more information comes out, that there's meaningful investigation into all of this, because I really think that there needs to be. And I'm really concerned that that won't happen and that this is just going to just kind of disappear.